I'm Dr. Pradnya Ajinkya and I'm practicing here at Shri Mangal Nursing Home. See what happens, you see, depression is a mental disorder. When most of the people refer to depression, see, I'm in a depressive state, I'm not able to wake up and I feel uncomfortable. It doesn't mean that the person is depressive. Because depression is a mental disorder. You cannot say that a person has a mental disorder. The person must be going through a very difficult stress at that point of time and he must be wanting some more help at that point. So every person who comes to you may not be depressive. It was a taboo sometime earlier that visiting consultants or psychiatrists or mental health care clinics, people had that taboo not going to such places because they would be labeled or they would not be accepted easily by the society. But now it is becoming a part of the need of the mental and physical care of a person because the mind and body relate directly to each other. So if your mind is not healthy, the body will also not be healthy. So it's just like any other professional taking care of you at that point of time when you need help. So there are so many cases, it's not, see, I deal with different kinds of cases. We deal with child, we deal with parent and child, couple counselling, adult counselling, mental health care counselling, so mental illness and counselling. So we look at different areas, and so these can be our areas of expertise also. Now what happens is that people come in with different kinds of problems. So we cannot say that this is an A classical case or a B classical case, so they'll come with their own kind of problems. Their problems also stem from their own emotional states. Now it is for the professional to understand what kind of the problem they relate to, whether and how serious their problem is. So it may not be a very, very serious problem or it can be an extremely serious problem also. That is about self-caregiving, they also need help. So suppose a person is going through a difficulty, I think the other person who is not trained may think, no, acting karta hai. See, the person is, troubling me. The person needs attention. Whenever I am coming into the room, the person feels sick. But that may not be the case also, but then can be the case also. Now what happens is that at all point of time, we have to be mentally prepared to deal with each other in the family also. So how you take care of somebody in the family and how the person is expecting you to take care is also important. So it may not be acting or it may not be that somebody is only attention seeking, but that is also part of the problem. See what happens, everybody likes to be in the limelight or everybody likes to be cared and loved for. Now if a person is going to depend on somebody else to get care and love, they will always get into attention seeking. But the moment you start taking care of yourself and you feel happy about the way you are, then you are able to manage many things of your life and you will not get into attention seeking. See what happens about the self-caregiving or the caregiving styles also. See, when you are flying, when you are on air and you are flying in the plane, there is a flight attendant. He gives you all the instructions, how to wear a mask and how to help yourself before you help somebody else if there is in case of an emergency. Okay, if the oxygen levels fall. What are they trying to tell you? They are trying to tell you is that first you help yourself before you help someone else. See, people with all kinds of problems have come to me. People with the smallest issues to the largest issues have come to me. So drug and substance abuse, alcohol abuse is one part of the condition. Now whether that is, now there is a question I read there, it is about whether you are depressed and get to it, drug addiction and alcohol abuse, or you do drug abuse and substance abuse and then come to depression. So somewhere the person is trapped. children are going to be prone to all kinds of disorders if they are not going to be going to have a good upbringing. So upbringing is also from home, it is also from the environment, it is also from the place and friends they meet. So everything matters. So if they're going to meet the wrong people who are going to introduce them to the wrong things, they're going to have wrong habits. Marijuana or weeds is also a part of the drug family, and it's not advisable for children to do weeds because that is also addictive. It's like any other abuse. Everything is a part of dependency, no? Either you do weed or you smoke up or you drink alcohol or you eat beverages or you overeat or whatever. It's all a kind of an abuse. Out of 10, 6 are having a difficulty because they are prone to an environment which influences them. There is a lifestyle that each one was trying to cope up with. So they are definitely going to see difficulties. If you are going to be self-contained, if you are going to be happy with what you have, then you have fewer difficulties. But if you are trying to get into something which you don't have, then you are going to see difficulties. No? Somatoform disorders are, they come under where people feel that, they feel sick and the symptoms are not clearly seen. When the symptoms are not clearly seen and the person feels sick, hand is paining, back is paining, head is paining, stomach is aching, I don't keep well. But for the physician or the psychologist or the counselor, the person doesn't have any medical problem, but the feelings exist. So what does that mean? The somatoform experience is about how you feel mentally. So your emotional state is very important, no? Because there is again a connect between the mind and the body. If you feel well emotionally, your body will respond effectively. If you do not feel emotionally well, your body will react negatively. So it is both connected, and it is important that your mental and physical health relate to each other effectively. There are extreme cases, no? There are few cases like that where people are not still mentally ready to understand that they have a problem, or they are not ready to visit somebody because they do not want to be accepted as a problem. So for whatever reason, but then if you have a fever today, you take medicine, and if you do not get okay with the small medicine you take, you go to a specialist also, no? So the mental health care is like any other service that any other industry can give you. Not really, because today there are alternative therapies, and psychology and psychological counseling also do very well, because people are made to talk. They learn how to talk out their problems, and they learn to work out with the right mechanisms to deal with their difficulties and problems and stressors. Generally, you have to look at depressive disorders and suicide together, because when a person is not able to manage anything, then the person goes to the end of his life. It's not only about prevention, no? It is about how the parent and child interact with each other in the first place. You should have a good relationship with your child, no? See, you should know your child. You have given birth to the child, you bring up your child, you should know your child, you should know what he wants, what he should do, what he should not do, but you should not make him like you, but at the same time you should help him to become what he wants to be. True. You should have the right value systems in you so that you can impart it with your child. No? Mental issues are, habit is something that you learn over a period of time. You learn to wake up late. You learn to use a bad language. You learn to imitate others. You learn to hate somebody. These are some of the ways you learn habits. Mental issues are when your well-being, your emotional states are not okay. This is a behavioral problem, habits. Emotional states when they are not okay, when your emotional state is not stable, then you do not know how to handle your stress factors, no? Your anxiety, your panic, your stress factors of a day-to-day life. Then it becomes difficult for the person. An emotionally well-balanced person is able to handle his day-to-day activities, no? His thoughts, his behaviors, his feelings. And it is important, no? So a person has to have that mental and physical connect. And they can exercise to bring their balance, a balanced lifestyle. They have to bring a balanced lifestyle, no? So they have to bring about a balanced lifestyle. They have to eat well, they have to sleep well, they have to exercise well, they have to meet people, they have to go out, they have to do their day-to-day routine. They have to have the social connect. They should learn to accept change. That is building resilience, you know. Now we don't know why the person goes like that. We cannot talk, in isolation. But if everybody is happy and if one person is away, means that there's something not normal with that person, no? It is very akin to saying that if suddenly a wild animal comes before us and one person doesn't feel afraid and everybody else is afraid. So, I mean, the mental state of that person is not appropriate at that point of time, no? You don't have to go to a counselor only because you have depression. You can go to a counselor for any kind of problems you have. You can go to a counselor because you have a career problem, you have a health related problem, you have a family related problem, you have other issues with your learning processes, or you have a relationship issue. It's not only about depression, it's about so many reasons why you would go to a counselor. Find, connect and follow me on this app. Thank you.